A woman has sued Sean Diddy Combs for allegedly threatening to kill her and dangling her off a 17th floor balcony. This is according to court documents that have been obtained by Rolling Stone and reported in the news. The woman, whose name is Brianna, quote, Bana, B-A-N-A, Bongalin, is a fashion designer who was friends with Sean Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. And Ms. Bongalin claims that back in 2016, Sean Diddy Combs called himself the devil and dangled her over a 17th story balcony, which was Cassie Ventura's balcony. So let's go ahead and look at this story, check the story out here on Rolling Stone. Now, as you can see, it says that she has sued Sean Combs, and she is a fashion designer. She filed a 17-page lawsuit against Combs this week in Los Angeles for sexual battery, infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment, among other claims. Bongalin is seeking $10 million in damages. Bongalin is seeking $10 million in damages for the lasting emotional distress that she claims she has suffered. So let's go ahead and unpack this. I want to talk to you about the claims that Brianna Bongalin has filed against Sean Diddy Combs in this lawsuit that was just fresh off the presses, just filed, I believe, November 29th. Essentially, Brianna is claiming that Sean Combs falsely imprisoned her. I am an attorney, and I have handled some false imprisonment cases. False imprisonment can look different depending on the state statute that you're dealing with. This incident allegedly occurred in California at the home of Cassie Ventura, which was Sean Diddy Combs' former girlfriend. So Ms. Brianna Bongalin, who has filed this lawsuit against Sean Combs, says that she was a friend of Cassie Ventura, which is Sean Combs' former girlfriend. False imprisonment can be circumstances where the individual is alleging that they were held against their will, they were prevented from leaving a place. She has also, Ms. Bongalin has also brought a claim against Sean Diddy Combs for intentional infliction of emotional distress. So there are certain actions that are so heinous, that carry with them so much trauma, that there is a claim under the law where you can file for intentional infliction of emotional distress and say that this person, it's called a tort claim where you have to meet certain elements of the claim, including harm, including damages, including proximate cause. And these are the claims that she has brought against Sean Combs, and she is claiming $10 million, which is a very large amount of damages. So let's go back to this article here. The next part of this article states that Bongalin claims that she witnessed numerous instances of abuse between Sean Combs and his girlfriend, Cassandra, quote, Cassie Ventura, before the Bad Boy Entertainment founder allegedly intimidated and threatened Bongalin. She says it all culminated in a September 2016 night where Combs allegedly dangled Bongalin over the side of Ventura's balcony while screaming at her. Bongalin says in the complaint, the only purpose of dangling someone over a balcony is to actually kill them or to intentionally terrorize them and rob them of any concept of dominion over their own bodily autonomy and safety. James R. Nakreftar of Miller Barandas is the law firm, is the attorney for Ms. Bongalin, and she refuses to allow this fear to control the rest of her life and brings this action to demand that Mr. Combs take responsibility for the trauma he intentionally and maliciously inflicted. So as you may know, Combs, Sean P. Diddy Combs, or as I guess they call him now, Sean Diddy Combs, is currently being held without bail after pleading not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges. The attorneys for Combs say he firmly denies Bongalin's allegations. Quote, anyone has the right to file a lawsuit regardless of the evidence they may or may not have, end quote, a legal representative for Combs said in a statement provided to Rolling Stone. Quote, since last year, Ms. Bongolan has expressed an intention to sue Mr. Combs and has sought legal representation to pursue her claims. Mr. Combs firmly denies these serious allegations and remains confident that they will ultimately be proven baseless. So let's unpack that a little bit from the legal end. Essentially, Combs is making the allegation that anyone can just file a lawsuit. Anybody can just write into their papers whatever accusations they want to write, and state a claim. And to an extent, as an attorney, I can tell you, this is not legal advice, but this is legal commentary. As an attorney, that is somewhat true. You can allege something in papers that didn't necessarily happen. You can state certain elements of a claim for purposes of your filing, but then it's up to the court to go through various levels within the litigation to determine the truth. So many lawsuits are filed that ultimately are determined not to have merit or are determined not to meet the elements that are required to prove their case under that particular claim. So Sean Combs' representatives are correct in that sense. However, and he's saying, I firmly deny these accusations and I have confidence that these will be disproven. However, this individual, Ms. Brianna Bongolan, she has accused him of a very serious crime. She has accused him of a very serious civil offense because these claims are, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is a civil claim, and she's suing for civil damages of $10 million. She's saying that ultimately I will be able to prove the elements of this case and that she believes that she will prevail. I also think it was interesting that her complaint kind of states the obvious, which is that the only reason that you would dangle someone over the side of a 17th story balcony is if you actually wanted to kill them or if you wanted to cause them very severe trauma. So this is a very interesting case that is taking shape. And as we know, Sean P. Diddy Combs has been in the news quite frequently lately because he is being held currently without bail. The court denied him bail. He's being held for many claims of sexual trafficking, racketeering. There have been a number of other popular celebrities who have shown up, their names in the complaint surrounding P. Diddy Combs. So he is in a lot of legal scrutiny right now, and he is under a lot of hot water. So this is interesting that now there's this recent lawsuit that was just filed a couple days ago by Brianna Bongolan, where she's alleging that he dangled her over the side of a 17th-story balcony. This is now just all piling on, all the lawsuits that are coming out of the woodworks against Sean Diddy Combs. So let's go back to the article here. It's saying here that Bongolan, the fashion designer young woman who's bringing this claim against Sean Combs, describes herself as a young aspiring fashion designer when she became close with Cassie Ventura while the two were both working with popular Los Angeles stars store Diamond Supply Co. around 2014. And remember, Cassie Ventura is Sean Combs' ex-girlfriend. Cassie Ventura is the former girlfriend of P. Diddy, and it was her home, Cassie Ventura's home, where this incident allegedly took place, where P. Diddy allegedly held and dangled this woman, Brianna Bongolan, over a balcony and threatened to kill her, allegedly. So let's go back to the article here. It says here that Bongolan met Combs, whom she believed could offer once-in-a-lifetime opportunities to collaborate with him in his business. Ultimately, it only led to terror and abuse at his hands, the lawsuit claims. So up until 2018, Bongolan says she worked on several projects for Combs and his companies, including specialized Bad Boy entertainment jackets, the 2016 Bad Boy reunion tour album covers, music videos, and a clothing line with Ventura. But working with Combs did not lead to the career boost that Bongolan had hoped for, her lawsuit claims, but instead forced her to experience violence and abuse firsthand in professional settings as well. Around this time, Bongolan claims that she also began to to recognize disturbing signs of an abusive relationship between Ventura and Combs, who had allegedly blown up Ventura's phone if she didn't answer his calls, showed up unannounced to Ventura's apartment and would bang on the door and accuse people of trying to, excuse me, F his woman. So, by the way, friends, we need to unpack this a little bit. So, it seems from what this article is reporting about the complaint that was filed against Sean P. Diddy Combs by this fashion designer, it sounds as though she is not only saying that she witnessed him being abusive to his girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who was her friend, but it's also seeming to be insinuating that she herself experienced abuse and firsthand at P. Diddy's hands. So these are some very serious accusations. They're very detrimental, and it's really important that for right now, since the court has not yet had a chance to determine what the verdict is here, it's important that we understand that these are just allegations at this point. This is just allegations of Brianna Bongolan. She's alleging that P. Diddy Combs threatened to kill her and dangled her over a 17th-story balcony back in 2016 at the home of P. Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. This is the very beginning stages of the lawsuit. She just recently filed this lawsuit. She's stating her claim. She's saying, this is what my allegations are. I want $10 million for false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And she is essentially, she's brought a civil suit against Sean Diddy Combs. So this still has a very long process in litigation before the court will have a determination and will be able to make its ruling. This may go to a jury. This was filed in Los Angeles in California. It's a civil case. I handled some cases out in Los Angeles County Superior Court when I was practicing at a national law firm. So I am familiar with civil practice in California, and it is a long process because at the beginning stages of a lawsuit, there are chances for Sean Combs, the defendant, to file a motion to dismiss. He can allege that she didn't state a claim properly that would meet the elements to be able to recover against him and be able to actually have the claim heard in court. And then later on in the process, as they go down the road, he's going to have to, if the case is not dismissed, he's going to have to file an answer, a response. Sometimes defendants will even file a counterclaim. And a counterclaim is when they might assert their own claims back against the plaintiff who filed the lawsuit against them. So then also at a later stage in litigation, there is something called summary judgment where the defendant can allege that even if that it would not be legally possible for the plaintiff to make the claim against him, to prevail in the case against him. And then there's also the discovery phase where in the discovery phase, they can compel one another, the parties can compel one another to produce certain documents, produce audio tape, to produce photos, to produce emails, text messages, written communications that would relate to the claims that they have against one another. So we're still here at the very early stages. This is breaking news. This just happened. So let's go back to the article here. This article says that the allegations are that there were numerous alleged instances in which Bongolan claims that she saw Ventura covered in bruises or with a black eye, which Ventura allegedly said were from Combs. Bongolan claims she was physically present during one explosive fight where Combs threw a large kitchen knife at Mrs. Ventura, who, acting in self-defense, threw one back at him. Eventually, Bongolan says that Combs began directing his rage towards her. So during a photo shoot for Ventura, Combs allegedly cornered Bongolan and inches from her face threatened her. So I quote, I'm the MFing devil. I'm the MFing devil, Combs told Bongolan, according to the lawsuit. You have no idea what I could do to you. I could blank you. And I'm not going to say it because this type of allegation is very serious. This is a very difficult topic to be talking about anytime we're talking about alleged domestic violence. So I don't want to be so graphic and explicit on the stream, but let's suffice it to say that there are some very serious allegations here. Ms. Bongolan, who has just sued Sean P. Diddy Combs, is saying that she's alleging that he was not only abusive to his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, she's alleging that she witnessed at least one explosive episode between the two. And she's also even alleging that Sean Diddy Combs was abusive towards her and threatened her. And again, the crux of this lawsuit is Ms. Bongolan saying that in 2016, Sean Diddy Combs dangled me over a 17-story balcony and threatened to kill me. So these are some very serious allegations. Sean Diddy Combs denies these allegations, but this is going to be a very interesting and important case to watch because, like I said, we've already seen that Sean Diddy Combs has had so much legal stuff going on right now. He is currently being held without bail for alleged charges of sexual trafficking and racketeering. And there have been a number of very famous, well-known people whose names have appeared in the litigation surrounding Sean Combs and the charges against him. So he is in a lot of scrutiny. He's under a lot of scrutiny right now. He's in a lot of legal hot water. And there are lawsuits coming out of the woodworks against him right now. So this is really important. Let's go back to the article here, which says that Bongolan, who is the plaintiff who has filed this lawsuit, says that she took his threat seriously, knowing, quote, firsthand that Mr. Combs was a violent man, end quote, referencing that what she had seen of his relationship with Cassie Ventura and learning that Kid Cudi's car exploded after the singer had a brief fling with Ventura. So Kid Cudi confirmed the allegation to the New York Times, saying, quote, this is all true. Bongolan claims she has heard rumors that the billionaire Sean P. Diddy Combs had once, quote, skinned a rival's dog. So again, friends, let's be very mindful when we're reading these articles that these are allegations. These are allegations that this woman is making against Sean Diddy Combs. She is filing a lawsuit against him. She claims that he dangled her off of a 17-story balcony and threatened to kill her. She is claiming that she witnessed Sean Combs abusing his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. These are her allegations. It's important that we recognize that these are just the claims that she's making. There has been no court determination yet as to whether or not these things are true. The court will have the opportunity to make its own judgment. If it's a jury trial, it will go out to the jury and they will make their factual findings. But for right now, when we're looking at these articles, we need to understand that these are allegations. They're very serious allegations, though, nonetheless. And Sean Combs, like I said, is in a world of legal difficulties right now because he is being held without bail for charges of sexual trafficking and racketeering. So a lot of now civil lawsuits are coming out of the woodworks as well. So let's go back to this article, and it says that Bongolan says she instructed her girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, to hide in the bathroom and lock the door before Combs stormed into the apartment and advanced on Bongolan, who by then was on the apartment's balcony. And then Combs allegedly grabbed Brianna Bongolan and then groped her as she tried to fight him off. So Combs then grabbed Bongolan and lifted her up on the banister of the 17th floor balcony while repeatedly yelling, "Do you know what the F you did?" Et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, we don't need to go into all the graphic details here, okay? The graphic details have been put out there by this woman against Sean Diddy Combs in her lawsuit that she just filed couple days ago in Los Angeles Superior Court. So we don't need to rehash all these violent details, but to suffice it to say is that this woman, fashion designer Brianna Bongolan, has just sued Sean Diddy Combs for $10 million. She is saying that he falsely imprisoned her. She's saying that he was abusive towards her, and she's also claiming intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is a tort claim, and she is alleging that she is owed $10 million of damages for the lasting emotional harm that Diddy Combs has caused her. So again, these are some very serious allegations. Let's go back to the article here. It says that a physical struggle ensued with Bangling trying to get back on the ground. She claims that then she stands under 5 feet tall and weighs less than 100 pounds, and Combs therefore easily was able to overpower her. She alleges that, quote, he immediately lifted her up higher and higher over the 17th floor balcony of Mrs. Ventura's apartment, with only Combs' grip keeping her from falling to her death, the lawsuit claims. So Ventura, who had been locked in her bedroom, ran out onto the balcony and screamed at Combs to stop, the lawsuit claims, telling him that Bangala's girlfriend was also in the apartment and could overhear what was happening. So recognizing the threat of so many witnesses to his assault, Combs pulled Mrs. Bungalow back over the balcony, the lawsuit claims, but he did not release her. In a last fit of violence, he allegedly slammed Mrs. Bungalow onto the balcony's patio furniture, including a table. So this September 26, 2016 assault, quote, the September 26th assault ultimately proved that Ms. Bongolan was correct to fear Mr. Combs and has resulted in deep and lasting harm, the lawsuit alleges. So again, this is very important to denote that she is filing this civil claim. It's a civil suit, which is different than a criminal suit. A criminal charge is brought by a prosecutor. It's either brought by the state or it's brought by the federal government. That's a criminal case. This is a civil case that is being brought by this private citizen, this fashion designer, Ms. Brianna Bongolan. She's making these claims against Sean Diddy Combs. She's saying that he threatened her and dangled her over a 17th-story balcony and threatened to kill her. She is claiming that he falsely imprisoned her. She is claiming that she is owed $10 million. She's claiming that he intentionally inflicted emotional distress on her and that it has caused her lasting emotional harm. Now, if these allegations ultimately end up being determined by the court to be true or determined by a jury to be true, then it would be foreseeable that she could have experienced some very serious trauma from these events that have been alleged, if they are true. But like I said, friends, we are just at the very beginning of this lawsuit. She has just filed this suit against Sean Diddy Combs. And so we still have a long way to go in this. And a lot of times this civil litigation can go on for years. It can last for a long time. And Sean Combs will have his opportunity to file a responsive pleading. He can either file a motion to dismiss or a failure to state a claim. If he feels that she did not state a sufficient claim and she did not meet all the legal elements to be able to have a claim even be heard in court, Sean Combs can also go ahead and file an answer and a response. He can even file a counterclaim if he feels that he has a counterclaim against her. Oftentimes in civil suits, we'll see that one party files a claim and then the other side files a counterclaim right back at them. So we could be dealing with double-sided litigation. And then if the court ultimately decides that Ms. Bongolan did in fact state a claim that would allow her suit to move forward, then P. Diddy will have to file a response. He will have to produce discovery, because there's an entire period in civil litigation that's called a discovery period, where you can force the other side to produce text messages, written documents, audio tape, videotape, all types of electronic documents, any type of emails, any type of phone conversations. Now, technically in California, you're not supposed to be recording another party. It's a two-party consent state. So in California, which is where these parties are dealing, you're not supposed to be recording without the consent of both parties. There are certain states that are one-party consent states. And again, none of this is legal advice. While I am a licensed attorney, I'm here just to give legal commentary. Legal advice would have to be given by an attorney that you have retained in your jurisdiction to discuss your specific circumstances with. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to the article here. We're going to go back to what the article says about this lawsuit that was just filed against P. Diddy Combs. Cassie Ventura, P. Diddy's former girlfriend, also references an alleged balcony incident in her since settled sexual abuse and sex trafficking lawsuit against Combs. He denied any wrongdoing. So that's interesting. So that's really interesting. So it looks like Sean Diddy Combs' former girlfriend Cassie Ventura had also filed a lawsuit against him. This article says that it was for sexual abuse and sexual trafficking, and that he settled the litigation with her, so it did not have to proceed to a trial, but they were able to settle the litigation and resolve it. And oftentimes the results of those settlements are sealed. They are confidential. And so the results of a confidential settlement would not be disclosed to the public. So let's go ahead and pull back up this article and show you what the allegation is. So in that claim that Cassie Ventura had filed against Sean Diddy Combs, her former boyfriend, she alleges that after she was forced to participate in some actions, Combs picked her up like a child and dangled her over a 17th floor balcony. So that's very interesting because the former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, also allegedly had been dangled by Sean P. Diddy Combs over a 17th floor balcony. So it's kind of reminiscent that we're seeing the same kind of allegation in this new lawsuit that was just filed against Sean P. Diddy Combs on November 29th in Los Angeles County, where now this fashion designer friend of Cassie Ventura, Brianna Bongelin, is alleging that she at one point in 2016 was dangled over Cassie's balcony by Sean P. Diddy Combs as well, and that Diddy threatened to kill her. So let's move right along here. We're going to look back at the article, and we do see that Ms. Ventura and her friends were scared by Mr. Combs' erratic behavior, alleges the lawsuit, but Mrs. Ventura was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the FO, was unable to respond to Mr. Combs' terrifying behavior. So Bongelin is now part of the group of 30 people who have filed civil lawsuits against Combs, all who claim Combs assaulted them in some form dating back to the 1990s and as recently as 2022. The claims come from former Danity Kane. The claims come from former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard, producer Rodney Lilrod Jones, working models, aspiring artists, businessmen, security guards, and people who say they were teens at the time of their alleged encounters. Combs has vehemently denied all claims of abuse through his reps. The 55-year-old is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his arrest on September 16th. Southern District of New York prosecutors allegedly built a criminal case against Combs on the alleged experiences of Ventura, who claimed that Combs forced her to engage in certain actions with males throughout her decade-long relationship. Combs has denied her claims and pleaded not guilty to the 3 charges against him. If convicted, he faces 15 years to life in prison. So this is actually a really sad situation, and I thought it interesting to see that Dawn Richard, who is a former Danity Kane member, was referenced as one of the individuals making these allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. I remember watching that show, Making the Band, where he actually quite literally put together that female group, Danity Kane. Aubrey O'Day was also one of the very famous individuals that was part of that initial ensemble. So it's really sad to see that these individuals who are alleging that they were only teens when these alleged acts occur, they're filing lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. And it says in this article, there's like among 30 different people who are making these claims. And as you probably know from the news, Sean Diddy Combs is currently being held without bail at that prison in New York. He's being held without bail on charges for sexual trafficking and also racketeering. And as you probably have seen in other news articles, there are some very famous people whose names are appearing in these charges against him. So this is a really sad story, friends, and there are civil lawsuits coming out of the woodworks. This most recent lawsuit brought by fashion designer Brianna Bongelin, who's friends with P. Diddy's prior girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Ms. Bongelin is now alleging that back in 2016, P. Diddy dangled her over a 17-story balcony and threatened to kill her. Ms. Bongelin is also alleging that she personally witnessed Sean Diddy Combs abusing his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura, and she's also alleging that he was abusive in ways towards her, making threats to her. Her lawsuit alleges that she is owed $10 million in civil damages for the lasting emotional harm that Sean Diddy Combs has caused her. She's also making claims for false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and another claim as well. So these are very sad and serious allegations, and we wait to see, and we will continue to cover this on our news channel. So please click the subscribe button, and you will continue to be notified of our upcoming updates on the Sean Diddy Combs legal situation. I also have covered yesterday the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie legal battle, which we just had a court decision in that, where the court ruled in Angelina Jolie's favor, and the court ruled that Brad Pitt must disclose certain documents that Jolie claims will prove his abuse of her and the family's children. So this has been an ongoing battle between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, filed initially by Brad Pitt back in 2022. So this has been almost 2.5 years of litigation where Brad Pitt has sued Angelina Jolie over the shares that she sold of their winery that they held together called Chateau Miraval. It's the same chateau where they got married, when they were married. And it's also the same chateau where, in Vineyard, where Brad Pitt owns a winery. So essentially, this channel will continue to provide updates on the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie legal battle. We will also continue to keep you abreast of the Sean Diddy Combs legal battles and all the lawsuits being brought against him and his criminal charges that he's facing. He's being held without bail right now for charges of sexual abuse and also sexual trafficking, racketeering. So this channel covers celebrity entertainment news, so go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated for all of our information. Hit the like button if you got value from the stream, and we will continue to keep you all posted. I also have posted recently on Lala Kent's trademark lawsuit, regarding her Give Them Lala brand, where she has sued a smaller company in New Jersey, where she has sued a company in New Jersey, a New Jersey LLC, Cosmesi LLC, and Lala has alleged that they infringed upon her right of publicity, and has also infringed upon her trademark, the Give Them Lala, by issuing a matte and moisture lip wand under the Give Them Lala mark that she says she did not authorize. So I have full details in my full breakdown of the Lala Kent legal situation as well. The court recently filed a rule to show cause, which is requiring Lala to have to file a response as to why the court should not dismiss her case. The court is saying that she missed a deadline in her filing. So guys, continue to stay tuned. I will be coming to you live every day with updates and news breakdowns on celebrity entertainment